Welcome to the podcast, Mark. It's great to have you on. Do you mind giving us a quick rundown of your company and what you guys do?
Yep, sure. Thanks. Hi. Yes, my name is Marc Young, and I'm with xLM Solutions. We are a PLM or Product Lifecycle Management company that's providing services and solutions. And if you're an engineering or manufacturing company, you probably are using or in need of a PLM solution, and we help companies, pick the best PLM solution for them, and then help them implement it and roll it out throughout their organization.
Nice, nice. So tell me about how the company started and then obviously the journey to where you are today.
So my journey started at a probably the precursor to PLM was PDM, Product Data Management, and started off working for a PDM company called Bon PDM, which had an ERP system called Bon ERP. After a few years of that, I moved to another PDM company called Smart Team, and Smart Team was purchased by a very large PLM company called Dassault Systems, and I had moved over to there in their services group, helping companies implement and roll out their Smart Team or Innovia Smart Team system. After a few years of running various Innovia Smart Team implementations, me and a couple colleagues got the entrepreneurial spirit and said, let's do the same thing on our own. So we left Dassault, starting a company focusing on implementing PLM systems on our own outside of the key, let's say, software developer to being Dassault. And then we have grown from providing PLM services and solutions, not just on Smart Team, but on other products such as SolidWorks PDM, Dassault's 3D Experience, and then other softwares such as Eris, OpenBOM, Autodesk Vault, etc.
Nice. And in terms of obviously over the course of the last 20 years since you've been running the company, what have been some of the biggest challenges that you've had to overcome?
So, from a challenge side and being a business owner, I'd look at two things. There's a challenge of getting projects and getting business, so the sales side, but then the challenge of once you get the business, executing the project, making sure the project, is executed successfully and you have a happy customer at the end of the day. We're a very conscientious company, so if we say we're going to do something and we say we're going to do it for a certain price and in a certain time, we want to make sure we deliver on those commitments. And PLM, some concepts are very simple, but other things can be very complex. And with any project, you run into challenges, roadblocks, etc. And being able to, technically figure out the issues and overcome them to deliver a successful project is key, and something that we are doing constantly.
Yeah, totally. Makes sense. You've got the two sides of getting clients and then delivering and making them happy. So, in terms of getting clients on board, what were some of the strategies that you used or are currently using to get
So
clients on board?
one thing with us at XLM Solutions is we have a great reputation. So I think our name goes a long way. But from getting customers and clients, I'd say is references, other customers referencing us and suggesting us to other potential customers that may need our services. Our website, social media, using LinkedIn, providing webinars on various PLM topics, going to trade shows, presenting at trade shows, kind of being a thought leader within the industry is some of the key things we've done to obtain customers and get leads and find new customers.
Nice, nice. And how have you seen over the past, say, 5 to 10 years that sales process change, and especially since COVID, a decrease of those in-person events? Have you seen any changes or big changes over that time?
I mean, from COVID or before COVID, I think a lot more stuff can be done over the web through web meetings, where before a lot of it, people wanted to meet in person, do things in person. And now a lot of the same people either just aren't in person, they're still working remotely or realize there's not a need to meet in person. That being said, though, I would say I can't see a lot of changes from a sales point of view. It still comes down to the basics where you got to get the lead and have your various, let's say, channels out there to try to get leads, and then from leads, you try to close them to actual customers. And once you have customers, then it's working with them to hopefully get repeat business by, showing them how you can provide value and get a return on investment and work with them on the next project or the next problem they need to solve.
Totally. And in terms of the company's growth, you mentioned so it's about a team of 10 now. How do you see the market changing and adapting over the next 3 years? Let's say, do you think the market's still going to be growing a lot, or what are your thoughts on the kind of trends?
I mean, throw the market research and key, large companies that assess the market. They say that the PLM or digital transformation market is growing. It will be growing. There's a lot of room to grow it with it. So we're obviously here to ride that wave, though they've been saying that for years, and we have modestly grown throughout the years, but still in committing ourselves to excellence. The technology within the PLM industry is always changing, so it's really key being on the forefront of that technology and be able to to apply the services and the consultancy to adapt to company needs with providing best practices and latest technology out there to accomplish their needs.
Yeah. Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. And do you have any growth plans for xLM over the next 2 to 3 years? Is there anything that you're looking to achieve company wise and also amongst your clients? Or
I mean, each year we want to increase revenue year over year. I say to grow in size just to grow is not always worth it. But if we're increasing profits, decreasing expenses, and able to grow our customer base, obviously that's the goals. We have internal plans and metrics to meet them. We don't look at growth as just from a headcount point of view. We really look at it as from what can we provide with what we have, and then we will bring in people as necessary to meet our objectives.
yeah, totally, totally. And I guess in terms of growing the team, what have been some of the challenges or that you've had to face in terms of growing that team up to 10? Obviously, going from a team of just a couple up to 10, you've probably seen a few different challenges.
Yeah, I mean, I would say the number one challenge is finding good talent. There's a lot of people out there that have PLM skills, and a lot of them are technical skills, whether it's programming, database related, but then there are soft skills with, understanding customers' needs, understanding processes, delivering training, etc. So you need to find someone with a good combination of those skills and finding the right people with the right talent to deliver the high quality of work that we are known to deliver is key. So, get to find the right people, but interview them and filter them out to make sure we're getting people that will work the way we want them to work and have the skill sets that we need them to have. That being key, I'd say today we're a virtual company. Working virtually has not never really been an issue, but depending on the person, and we do this as part of the hiring processes, we make sure that they can work independently and virtually. But sometimes that can be a challenge when they're not, you know, physical accessible to oversee in certain situations.
Yeah, yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. In terms of, I guess, if you were to start the company again or start over again, I know it's been for 20 years you've been running it, but is there any key, I guess, changes that you would make if you had to do it again?
That's a good question. I haven't thought about that too much. I would say no major changes that are off the top of my head. Maybe a little bit from structuring the company, but no, I think how we did it, we did it in a very thought out way. We actually had a lot of planning going into starting the company before we started it. I can't think of any major changes we would make.
Yeah, yeah, fair enough. I mean, 20 years is quite a long time for the company and to maintain the growth and stay in the market. I mean, technology's changed a fair bit in the last 20 years. I guess in terms of starting the company, how did it look like, back 20 years ago? What were what did the process look like?
Right now, I got to think back 20 years, but Basically, I was a lot younger, had the entrepreneurial spirit, but it was really kind of like taking that dive off the deep end. Do I want to leave a job that I had a constant salary, constant health insurance, retirement plan, and start something on my own where I had an idea of where we could get some customers, but there was no guarantee we're going to get customers. And how long could we stay in business without getting any customers or getting any paying engagements? And how do people know that we're now on our own versus working for Dassault, who we worked for before? So, a lot of thought went into that. It was fairly nerve-wracking, but we decided to take the risk. It was a good decision to make, and we've been successful from there on, including that first year. But yeah, we did a lot of pre-planning. There's only so much planning you can do, and then you kind of have to take the jump and go at it. But it worked out for us.
Yeah.
So very happy that I did it.
Yeah, totally. I don't think many people that start a company really regret it at all. It's only lessons learned and up from there. So how long did it take you to get to your first 7 figures in revenue or $1 million a year?
It probably took us a good 5-7 years to get there. Going from 1 million to 2 million, 2 million to 3 million went faster, but it definitely wasn't year one. It probably was a good 5, 7 years to get there without going back and looking at our financial statements.
Yeah, totally. Why do you think it was quicker to get from 1 to 2 and then 2 to 3? Was there any key changes or thought processes?
One, and I don't know if this, we'd have to look at the numbers, but Dassault, one of the things we did was Dassault had purchased a company called Matrix One and introduced a new product called 3D Experience, which we jumped on the bandwagon again of. 3D Experience originally took a lot more resources and talent to implement, so that gave us some good business opportunities. That's probably one of the key things. But again, be able to get a customer base, grow it, but also, get repeat business from our customers kind of, has a little bit of a snowball effect in reoccurring revenues each year. So, that was obviously helped as years progress and go on. It's, not only getting new customers, but repeat business as well.
Yeah, totally. Makes sense. So in terms of, now 2025, what the kind of how you acquire your customers in terms of like a percentage breakdown, is that a lot of companies I speak to that still heavily on the word of mouth and referrals. Then also some in-person events and trade shows seem to be quite a big one. What does that look like for you at the moment?
Yeah, I would say that is what we're doing. Like you said, referrals, social media, LinkedIn being key, webinars, trade shows, working with other. We only provide services, so we'll work closely with companies that sell the software and partner with them as well. But yeah, through the 20 years, I realized there is no secret to just getting customers. You got to work all channels and put equal effort into all of them, and each of them will produce as as needed, hopefully.
Yeah, totally, totally.
Or if
And
one's
how?
underproducing, the other one hopefully is overproducing, and things switch up, throughout time.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And in terms of, if you had one piece of advice that you've received that's really helped you on your journey, or one piece of advice that you could give to someone else on their journey, what would that be?
Really, come out, have a good plan, but it's about taking that risk and following the plan and following through. So it's not easy, or everyone would be doing it. But if you feel you have something good to offer, put in a plan, think about it, think about how you're going to execute it, and then, take the chance. If you feel confident and you're willing to put in hard work, nothing's going to come easy. There's a good chance you'll succeed.
Yeah, totally. It's good advice, Mark. And if people want to get in touch with you, where can they find you?
Sure. So again, Marc Young with xLM Solutions. Our website is www.xlmsolutions.com. So that's X is in X-ray, L is in Larry, M is in Mark, solutions with an S.com. My email is myoung, MYOUNG at xlmsolutions.com. And that's probably the best way to reach out. can also find us, obviously on LinkedIn and the web as well. Info at xlmsolutions.com will get to us as well.
Awesome. Thanks for your time, Mark. Appreciate you coming
Yep.
on.
All right. Thank you very much. Pleasure talking to you.
Thanks, Mark.